The time is just gone 9:51 is we continue and we wrap up our broadcast this morning. We are taking a look at the breaking news where the Democratic Alliance had made the application to declare Cadre deployment unconstitutional. The Pretoria High Court had dismissed it was costs, and this is the reason why we are going across now to be joined by political analyst. We're speaking with Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast. Dr. Breakfast, good morning to you, sir, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, what do you make of this application by the DA and the fact that the Pretoria High Court had actually dismissed the case with costs?
Just in turn of events, given the fact that the DA had won the other one that they had brought before the court regarding the handing over of the documents. My view is that cadre deployment, is not a wrong thing per se, because politics and administration are like two sides of the same coin. I don't believe in a dichotomy, which is the separation between politics and administration. Cadre deployment, if it is done properly, whereby you deploy people at a strategic level, so long as they tick the boxes, to me, that is all well and good. There are also international best practices in that regard. In China, for example, they do a deployment, but people are appointed on merit. In the US, each and every administration is named after the president, the Bush's administration, the Obama's administration, the Trump's administration, the Biden's administration. Even the DA itself, it does deploy its own cadres. But maybe they do it differently from the ANC, because the ANC deploys people who are not suitable for those positions, and because of that, we tend to stick with problems as a country. A case in point is ESCOM, and also other SOEs that have fallen apart.
Yes, but it's what's also interesting to see, what the court has been saying, that the DA came to court with a case built on speculation and conjecture, and the DA again citing the Zondo Commission and what has been actually coming through in terms of the commission, the State Capture Commission, that what the ANC's cadre deployment policy has actually done to state-owned institutions, and we know a lot is actually out in the open, Dr. Breakfast.
Yeah, I think Judge Zondo maybe might have arrived at the conclusion that arrived at because of the misuse of cadre deployment by the ANC. ANC, for instance, you cannot deploy a director. You can't deploy a manager. By arguing for deployment, I'm not disregarding the importance of professionalization of the public sector. I support professionalization of the public sector. But what I'm talking about is the nexus between politics and administration at top management level. You cannot put a director general that doesn't understand the policies of the political party that is in power. So you need that synergy between politicians and also administrators. But at the same time, at the middle management level, then you need to appoint public officials who are qualified, who have the experience. So I think that's why Judge Zondo advocated for, doing away of cadre deployment. But I don't think that cadre deployment per se at a theoretical level is a bad thing. I think it is the practice that is bad.
Yes, but we know that this is not going to go away, and we've actually become so used to this, Dr. Breakfast, where we've seen now the Pretoria High Court had made this ruling, and again we're seeing the DA leader, we see John Steenhuisen saying that the DA would appeal the matter, going to the Supreme Court of Appeal, and take the issue to the Constitutional Court, and this is becoming a trend in South African politics, and it's playing out over and over again.
Look, I mean, the DA is within its right to demand for accountability or to put the government under the spotlight. I don't think that we must criticize it for that. But at the same time, the rationale behind this, application, I don't think is done in good faith. there are also some politics because you must also remember we're in the build up to the upcoming general election. So I think also they stand to gain political mileage out of this. But you have to allow them to do what they do because it's their right to do so.
Yes, in fact, that was the point I was going to make. In an election year, and apart from just this ruling, there's a lot more that will be coming out.
Yes.
And considering where we are politically, considering the ANC, looking at the predictions as well, this talk of coalition governments, all of that actually playing out. So, like you mentioned and correctly mentioned, that these political parties will make political capital. They will make sure that they maximize on the political mileage on any issue that they deem fit that will crop up to have a go at another party.
So of course, I mean, what is politics? Politics about advancing your own interest, but you don't say that out loud. That okay, now I'm doing this because I'm advancing my own, but the audience can read between the lines in terms of what is the agenda of this at play. So, in as much as the DA is addressing this issue, they also stand to gain, to benefit out of this, because they are going to use this as part of the message that they're going to convey. That they are fighting against data deployment.
Well, certainly, and obviously, it's going to be quite an interesting build-up to the elections, and I'm sure, Dr. Breakfast, you're looking forward to the build-up to the elections and how these parties actually are going to be positioning themselves in terms of obviously trying to secure maximum votes, but also at the same time in terms of how they're going to play against the various parties that are coming up against them.
Of course, some people say that these upcoming elections are like our 1994. Remember, there was a lot of hype in 1994. So the reason why there's this hype is because the possibility that the Ruling Party might lose power is not far-fetched. So that's why there's too much excitement that for the first time, the dominant party might be dislodged from the helm of power, which makes, I'm not saying that it must be removed from power or it must hold on to power. I'm just saying that it makes our democracy very interesting because, democracy also means that the losers must accept that they've lost. And I mean, the question is whether if the ruling party can lose power, will they accept that they've lost?
Yes, interesting times that we're living in, and I'm sure we will be calling on you from time to time, Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast. We always appreciate, we do value your time with us here on Salam Media. All the best to you, sir. Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast with us this morning, and obviously that wrapping up the big story yesterday was the DA and their application to declare Cadre deployment unconstitutional. And talking of the build up to the elections, voters will be the target. And this is what Salam Media is doing next week on Friday, in just over a week from now in Durban. Salam Media will be hosting a discussion entitled The Lucrative Muslim Vote, Who Will Govern South Africa. Now, this is with award winning journalist, co author of the book Who Will Rule South Africa, Kanita Hunter. And she is the assistant editor for politics and opinion for News 24. I will be moderating this discussion. We've got three panelists. Dr. Imran Bakas, who is a columnist and a political analyst, Dr. Faisal Suleiman, chairperson of SAMNET. We've got Ibrahim Patel. He is with the Minara Chamber, the ex-president of Minara Chamber, and all of this is going to be taking place in Durban, which is going to be a gripping account of South Africa's 30 years of democracy, but more importantly, who will rule South Africa next. And this is an event which is a must for anyone who wants to know more about the way forward for South Africa. And this will take place at the Andalus Boutique Hotel in a Morningside in Durban, and it's taking place next Friday, 1st of March 2024. So if you are in Durban, you are in the vicinity, for a ticket, you can contact Firoza at 083 432 9163. 9163 is going to be an interesting discussion and an event which is looking at the Muslim vote. Where do we stand? And we know that many of us are in limbo at this point in time. We are in the political wilderness. We don't know who to vote for at this point in time. And I'm sure this event will shed a lot of light on getting clarity on some of the issues or the questions that are running through our minds. And with that, I'm going to be leaving you. It's just gone 10 a.m. from myself and the team until we meet tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.